Snow fell softly over the small Russian town of Vyazniki, turning the old wooden houses into white silhouettes against the gray winter sky. Elena stood at the bus stop, clutching a worn leather bag and watching her breath dissolve into the cold air. After 10 years away, she was finally coming home. Moscow had changed her. Or maybe life had. She arrived in the capital at 19 with dreams of becoming an architect, but dreams rarely survived rent payments, long commutes, and loneliness. Now, at 32, she returned not as a success story but as someone searching for a beginning again. The bus groaned to a stop near the familiar square. The statue of Lenin still stood there, unchanged, as if time respected only monuments. Elena smiled faintly and walked toward the apartment building where she grew up. Her mother opened the door before Elena could knock. "Lenichka," her mother whispered, pulling her into a tight embrace. The apartment smelled of cabbage soup and fresh bread, the scent of childhood. They sat in the kitchen late into the evening. Her mother talked about neighbors, rising prices, and the harsh winter. Elena mostly listened, feeling both comforted and ashamed. She hadn't told her mother that she lost her job months ago when the design firm closed. The next morning, Elena walked through town. The bakery where she once worked part-time was still open. Inside, warm air wrapped around her like a blanket. Behind the counter stood Sergey, her former classmate, now broader, older, but unmistakably the same. "Elena, is it really you?" He laughed, surprised. They talked over tea. Sergey never left Vyazniki. He married young, divorced quietly, and now owned the bakery after his father passed away. His life sounded simple, almost ordinary, yet he seemed peaceful in a way Elena hadn't felt in years. "You always wanted big cities," he said gently. "I thought success lived there," she replied. "Turns out, it just hides better." Days passed. Elena began helping at the bakery temporarily. She designed a new sign, rearranged the interior, and suggested small changes that brought more customers. For the first time in months, she woke up with purpose. One snowy evening, as they closed the shop, Sergey handed her a small envelope. Inside was a modest job offer. Not charity, but partnership. "You see possibilities here," he said. "I don't. Maybe we need both." Elena walked home slowly, snow crunching under her boots. She realized she wasn't running away from failure anymore. She was choosing something different. That night, she told her mother she planned to stay. Spring arrived quietly in Vyazniki. Snow melted into rushing streams, and sunlight returned to the streets. The bakery reopened with a new name and fresh design, Alina's Design. Locals gathered, curious and smiling. Standing behind the counter, Elena watched people laugh, talk, and warm their hands around cups of tea. Success, she understood now, wasn't always loud or distant. Sometimes it was small, warm, and close enough to touch. Outside, children ran through melting snow, and church bells echoed across town. For the first time in many years, Elena felt certain she was exactly where she was meant to be. Not chasing a life somewhere else, but finally living her own.